Well, the new MAGA celebrity, Sophie Cunningham, who you've probably seen in the news recently, got pretty badly humiliated yesterday during a game she played in New York City. Now, Sophie Cunningham is like the new darling of the right. She made comments about trans people in sports, and Donald Trump loves her now. The Trump family loves her. The White House loves her. All the Republicans love her. She's like the new thing on the right for Republicans to be interested in. But the problem with Sophie Cunningham is that most Americans do not like her. They do not like what she said about trans people in sports. They do not like the position she's taken, aligning herself with the Trump White House. And that was very apparent yesterday at this game. So we're going to get into the story. We're going to talk about how she got booed. The team she was playing against put up a sign at halftime saying, giving a little jab at her. We'll talk about all of that and more. But I do want to point out first and foremost that her team did lose. So that's like humiliation number one. The New York Liberty won against the Indiana Fever. And if you go down to Sophie Cunningham's stats here, she played for 28 minutes and only put up 10 points. You know, Republicans are trying to make people believe she's like the LeBron James of the Wamba. Those aren't LeBron James. Numbers, if you're asking me. I just wanted to point that out. But outside of the arena yesterday in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, there was a lot of protests. There were clashes between pro-Sophie Cunningham people and anti-Sophie Cunningham people. This is an article from Mediaite. Trans Lives Matter. Trans Lives Matter. Fox News captures clashing Sophie Cunningham protests before the WNBA game. Fox News captured the wild scene in front of the Barclays Center in Brooklyn on Saturday where we're both cheering for and against Sophie Cunningham, with the cameras catching a loud Trans Lives Matter chant breaking out in the face of an Outkick reporter. Boy, glad we're not in there. The Big Weekend Show co-host Tommy, Lauren quipped when the camera cut back to the studio. She is a host for Fox News. It gives you some context there on what she might believe. She then explained, trans activists and supporters of Cunningham squared off in front of the arena shortly before they played the game. Lauren said that, and Cunningham protesters were acting like screaming banshees and causing problems. Yes, because all the pro-MAGA supporters have historically been very peaceful. January 6th comes to mind. Nice one, Tommy. The show then played an interview with two young women who were there to cheer for her, saying she did this with tremendous risk to her personal safety and career. I'm just grateful for her speaking up. Saturday's pro and anti-protest added to the frenzy around Cunningham over the last month after she told ESPN she does not believe girls and women should be competing against biological boys and men who have transitioned. And it was pretty crazy outside of the arena. Let me give you some looks at what happened. A little bit of a protest there. That seems to be mostly pro-Cunningham. But to be clear, the protesters against her were outweighing the pro ones. But it also got very strange, like there were these pro-Cunningham people rapping in front of the arena. Most of y'all getting the game.
Reno?
Keep winning, we're not forward. Most of y'all even pick up the ball. Getting the game, we just coming late with a pick up the fucking nothing was the same. Chipper, don't mess with the girl who smiles with you, please. Don't mess with the girl who knows what you need. Don't mess with the girl who brings you on your knees. Don't mess with the girl who actually reads. Don't mess with the girl who smiles with you, please. Don't mess with the girl who knows.
What the hell is going on? You need to stop doing that. That is not your thing. You've picked like this person who's rapping. You've picked up like two not great hobbies. Being a pro-MAGA person and also rapping poorly. You can't be like rapping out in front of the Barclays Center as part of a protest if you can't do it. That was a tough lesson. Here's some anti-Cunningham protesters that showed as well.
Matter! Trans lives 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 matter!
Notice how none of them are rapping poorly. I just had to bring it up again. It's bothering me. They're all just doing their thing. Good for them. Good for them. Good for them. Here's a screeching man who infiltrated a pro-trans rally outside of the center, getting escorted away by cops. You know, again, not very sane individuals who are like these MAGA protesters showing up at places. Like, what are you doing? What? Why are you making those police officers' lives harder? Why are you doing that? So, as you can tell, some chaotic scenes outside of the arena, a lot of Tim. But inside the arena, it was no better for Sophie Cunningham in the MAGA crowd. She got booed as she checked in for the fever. Take a listen to this. Humiliation for Sophie Cunningham didn't stop there, because at the halftime spot, the New York Liberty decided to display some images on the board at center court. And let's take a read of what they say. Hey trans fans, glad you're here. Go Liberty. Very welcoming messages for the trans community. Or what about this one? Welcome trans Liberty fans. You are loved and you belong. Very pro mensagin. Very happy positive messaging. Something that Cunningham could possibly learn from. Here's other messages that they put up. Big welcome to the NY Liberty transgender fan community. So excited to be here with you all, which is a very nice message to put up at halftime. And very obviously a dig at Sophie Cunningham. You love to see it. Here's a person that attended the game last night saying, the best way to shut down Cunningham's transphobia with a W. Congrats to Liberty and to all the fans standing proudly with our trans loved ones. We see you. We see you. We love you. We got your backs and TC where these folks at the game last night looking very happy. Love to see Italiano. Love to see Italiano. Love Italiano. Sophie Cunningham, though, was asked about the political discourse, and she embarrassed herself with this. Clip as well. She said the political discourse hasn't affected her play at all, which is interesting. Parte.
Especially defensively and a little bit offensively. But you know what? I think we're going to peak at the right time. So it's a fun time to be a fever.
Fun time to be a fever. And also earlier in the video got caught off. But she said, look at my stats. I don't know why people think this is such a big distraction. Great time to be a fever. Interesting. Well, let's look at the stats. One of her recent games, not great. Not great. Not great. I mean, I'm looking at the stats. I'm not seeing much. I'm really not seeing much. We can look at the stats from last night where she made these comments. 10 points in 30 minutes. I'm just not seeing the stats. You know, I don't know where she's getting this confidence. She was also asked about fans using her name, image, and likeness in political rallies outside of the arena. And she commented on that here.
Something about it is they are using your name, your image, your likeness for these rallies. How do you feel about them using your image? Yeah, you know, I think I said what I said, and it's nothing new. It's happened every game, and so I've already kind of stated how I feel about all that. I'm focused on New York tonight. I think, yeah, we clinched playoffs, but for me, it's dialing in with basketball, and it's cool that people are using their freedom of speech and doing what they want to do, but that's them, and I'm in my 2 feet. I'm where I'm at, so I'm just focused on New York.
Seems like she perhaps got some PR. Training maybe now to give that answer because she ignored it. As you know, any athlete does. You ask a lot of these athletes these kind of questions, and they don't give you an answer. But worthwhile pointing out that she's like, yeah, you know, I think it's awesome that people are using their freedom of speech and using my likeness to protest. Now, I want to give you one final piece of information that's quite interesting in all of this saga, which is this video right here. This is a man named West Wilson. He has a podcast with Sophie Cunningham. They're like best friends. They grew up together. And ever since this Sophie Cunningham stuff has popped up, they've seemed kind of distant from each other. And actually, after she made those comments, he posted this video on TikTok kind of going at her a little bit.
TikTok kind of going at her a little bit. Take a look.
Okay, transgender athletes in American sports is such a borderline non-existent issue that right-wingers have convinced a massive portion of people in our country that these people are like a threat to sports in America, when like mathematically that's not the case at all. And by continuing to platform this, fucking politicians, athletes, journalists, news outlets, you're only isolating transgender people even more by making them seem like this giant group of people is a threat to society and threat to sports, when that's just not proportionately the truth in any capacity. There is like 10 transgender athletes in all of the NCAA. And so I think there are unique questions that can be handled on individual bases, but to allow this to take our attention away from like housing and healthcare and wars and all the other actual harmful shit in our country is dumb. That's
a pretty significant video for him to be posting. I mean, like, they are best friends. He was on this show called Summer House. Oh, I'm familiar with Wes. He's like a reality TV guy. My girlfriend made me watch reality TV and now I'm kind of into it. So, you know how it is. But it's really significant that he's making that statement because, again, they were like best friends. They grew up together kind of thing. That's how close they were. But yeah, just an overall humiliating night for Sophie Cunningham. The new MAGA darling is what people are calling her. Whether it be, the loss, the booing, or the messages that were put up by the opposing team at halftime. You love to see it. You love to see it. So, look, I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about all this stuff.